Whoops, back to Pimpology. It cut off on me. The ism. I'm in Law 41, the ism of Pimpology, uh, by Pimpin and Karen Hunter. The ism. Oh, the one thing a hoe won't tolerate is a pimp effing up the money. They never want to feel like they are hoeing for nothing or to support a drug or gambling habit. If he looks weak to her, she will choose another pimp, so he must always keep up his front. Most players in the game are good at fooling people, looking like they got it going on. They make themselves seem like they're more than they are. Every lady has seen that her brother in the club with a tight fit on, big gold chain, nice watch, looking real slick with a hot whip, only to find out later he lives with his mama. Every fella has met that fine chick in the club, the one with the big butt, the Fendi bag, the nice hairdo, but once he got her to the crib, she got 8 kids and the house is a mess. Everything that glitters ain't gold. But if you appear perfect, you will more than likely be seen that way. How people first see you is how they will judge you. So you must make sure that you see you at the very best or pretending to be your best. My man Mitchell Maroy used to always say, if people think you're flawed like them, they will try to prove that they are better than you. That's an opportunity you don't want to give them. Picture of Juvenile. Picture of E40 on the red carpet. Law 42. If you can see it, you can be it. Whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Napoleon Hill. The life. When I was in the game, I used to lock myself in a hotel room far away from my hoes and the track. I would meditate on the situation I was in and envision where I wanted to be. See, even a pimp meditates. The cars they drove, the jewels they wore, how they looked, and how many hoes each of them had. I saw them, and then I saw myself with all of it. In my head, I would create different imaginary scenarios of how I wanted it to go down. I saw exactly how I would play them out. I knew for it all to work, I had to have perfect timing. To have perfect timing, you have to have everything sorted out before it goes down. Only once I finished putting my thoughts together did I go to the streets and make moves. The ism. Pimpin is about controlling minds, and you have to learn to control your own before you can control someone else's. Every action starts with a thought before a general puts a battle plan into action. He thinks it through first. He visualizes the strategy, then he puts it in motion. By the time the conflict begins, it doesn't really matter if he goes out on the battlefield or not. It was won or lost before it began in his mind. Wise men know that in order to be ahead of a situation, you must first see that situation in your head. If you're going to be somewhere at a certain time before you can even get to that place, your mind has an image of where you're going. You can picture the place, the buildings, the people, everything. Then you can map out your course, write down your plan, and make a move. Picture of Nelly. Let me go see why. Talk and swallow spit. You ain't from Russia. Say, female, why you Russian? Nelly, pimp juice. Law 43. No wonder Nelly's on that side. Okay. I got more game than the Parker Brothers and more flavor than an hour later. Let me reach out and touch you like AT&T and bring good things to your life, like GE. Pimpin Ken. The life. I was at a Tyson fight in Las Vegas in 1996. He was fighting for the heavyweight championship against Frank Bruno, and I was there profiling with my hoes. On my way into the arena, we bumped into Don King. Don King is one of the men I had admired from afar over the years. And here I was face to face with him. So I said to him, man, you are one of the few people who talks more than I do. Did you go to school for all that you be talking? He smiled and said, why should I go to school to matriculate when I'm earning without the learning? That seemed to tickle out my hoes, who burst out laughing. I turned to them and said, you hoes are out of pocket. Be cool. They were showing me up and I had to recover. Sir, I said to Don King, I have a PhD. In what, he asked. A pimpin' hoes degree, I said. He slapped me 5 and walked away smiling from ear to ear. Holding my own with a legend made me feel like a million, and it reminded my hoes why it was me they were hoeing for. The ism. Most of my pimps who got knocked for their hoes got knocked by slick talking Negroes like me. Pimps with diarrhea of the mouth who talk more than a fat female's toilet. In order for a hoe to look up to you, you must have something for a hoe to look up to. No hoe will follow a pimp who doesn't have a winning personality, at least not for long. Conversation rules the nation. That's part of a song. I gotta remember which one. But anyway, all great leaders are good orators. For years, I studied the great leaders and incorporated this into my game. Those on top have the gift of gab, they know how to sell it. If you ever want to reach the highest heights, you have to develop this quality in yourself. They say conversation rules the nation, but I can't tell. Okay. Law 44. You need fire and desire. Goals are not only absolutely necessary to motivate us, they are essential to really keep us alive. Robert H. Scholar. She F with me because I got big dreams. T.I., what's your name? The life. When I was a young man, I was always getting into trouble. One day, the trouble caught up with me and I had to go do some time in the joint. At this time, I had no plan. All I knew was that I wanted to be rich, and that's what landed me in jail. While I was in the joint, this OG named Art asked me some questions about setting goals. What's your desire in life, he asked me. I had never even thought about what desire really meant, let alone what I desired in life. I was so confused that I made up a lie on the spot. I told him I had to do something and that I'd be right back. I excused myself, went to prison library, and asked the librarian if she had any books on goals and desires. He's smart. Yeah, he was. He went to the library. She pointed to the left and said, those are the self-help books over there. I went to the self-help section, and the first book I saw was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I thought I could breeze right through it. I would skim it and get back to old dude with a great answer. Well, that was almost 22 years ago, and I haven't stopped reading that book. I find myself referring back to it this day. Let me put that on my books to read list. Come through. Carnegie. Okay. I thought, okay. When I came home, I told myself that as soon as I hit the bricks, I was going to get off my feet. Since then, I have had quite a few bumps on this road. There were times when it seemed like I wasn't going to make it. One day I'd have cash, the next day I was broke. One day everybody loved me, the next day everybody hated me. But through it all, I kept my head up and had a burning desire to win. I look at how my life used to be, and I think I'm doing mighty damn good now. The ism. As I reflect on my many great men and women who have walked this earth, he said women. He didn't say B. He didn't say none of that. He said women. Let's keep it going. They all had was a burning desire to be great. Anything you do in life begins with a desire. Someone who wants to be the best has to have a desire so strong it can't be stopped. Desire keeps your goals moving down the road to success. Law 45. Get rid of the word if. Remember that ifs and were pots and pans, the whole world would be a kitchen. Pimpin can. Okay. The Life. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, great book, by the way, had an impact on my life and how I approached the game. Hill had a chapter devoted to this word if and how it stops people from accomplishing all that they could be. People have so many if-onlys that they believe which have kept them from being all they could be. Here is the kind of I hear all the time. If I had some more money, if I had more money, if I had better education, if I didn't have debt, if I had me a white girl, if I didn't have a criminal record, if I had Dr. Dre producing my album, if I had a better environment, if I had as much game as Pimpin can. These are the thoughts of people who fail. We have to get rid of the alibis and excuses. My man Jim Brown said that you have to change that I can't mentality into an I can mentality. I learned a long time ago that you can talk yourself out of things and you can talk your way into things. I believe there is nothing I can't do or have, and because I believe that, there is nothing I can't do or have. That works the same in the negative. If you always set yourself up by talking about what you can't do, or if you only had a little more of this, you could do more, then you will continue to fail. The ism. The reason we have a hard time succeeding is because of the alibis we use. If you're I call those shadows, boxing shadows. If you're somebody working to get out of the excuse-making mentality, make sure you stay around people with similar mindset. When you see a person making excuses about everything, you need to run for the door because that person is a dream killer. Surrounded by dream killers. Law 46, move and shake like a pimp shakes. A pimp's not going to starve for nothing. A pimp is going to get it. Pimpin' Snooky. The life. I would tell all my hoes, if I have to tell you to get up and go to work, this game is not for you. You have to make it your business to get up every day and get that long green. This one hoe ain't get it. Daddy, why can't we wait for you to give us instruction to go to work? She asked me. Female, these are my instructions. Get off your ass and go get some money. Look, before you got into the game, what did you do? I asked her. I used to be a cleaning woman at a hotel, she told me. Well, what happened? They got mad because I wouldn't do any extra work, she said. I told them I was only going to do what I got paid for. Female, there is your problem. All you had to do was go the extra mile and you would have become the boss, I told her. That attitude is the same reason why you aren't my bottom female. I shouldn't have to tell you what to do. You should have the personal initiative to get it on your own. Then she hit me with other questions. Do I give the trick more than what he pays for? No, the trick only get what he pays for, I said. When you're on the track, you're the boss. You're the one in control. The trick kisses your butt, not the other way around. When I first got into the entertainment business, I tried to do it like the big boys. I hired a street team, spent a lot of money on marketing, started the website www.pimpinkin.net, worked closely with my publicist, and sat back, expecting everyone to do the job I had paid them to do. After 6 months, I peeped that if I was going to take it to the next level, I had to get on my grind, roll up my sleeves, and get to work. I woke up one day and said, I've got this movie, Pimpology Uncut, and this has to get the streets. I didn't wait for anyone to do what I had to do. I traveled all over the United States, selling that tape myself out the trunk of my car. Come on, Pimpin' Ken, honey. I respect your hustle, boo. Lord have mercy. Come through, pimp. The ism. People think they're cheating their bosses when they do the bare minimum on their job, but they're really only cheating themselves. They are sitting back waiting for someone to tell them what to do, thinking they're doing their jobs. But that will keep them at the bottom. When bosses see you taking the initiative, they know they are getting more than what they're paying for, and they like that. Then they know you are worthy of a promotion. That same promotion that he talked about in the chapters earlier where he said they should be getting paid that already, just like his hoes. Anyway, we're going to keep it moving. Most people want other people to do things for them. They are so lazy that they'll wait until it's too late to do anything. When you want something to happen, you have to make it happen. It won't happen just because you're sitting around wishing that it would happen. You have to take the first step. Picture of delicious LL Cool J. I had a huge crush on him when I was younger. First, when he came out with I Need Love, Rock the Bells. Oh, Booming System. And then the song he did with J-Lo, Crush. Oh, huge LL fan. I don't know why he's here in this book. Okay. And then he's got a little lady here sitting on the couch talking about she's a friend. She got some long toes. I don't know about anything else. Law 47. Pimping is what you do, not who you are. Before you are a pimp, you got to be a man. Gorgeous Dre. The life. A young pimp by the name of Ivor P. once asked me, are we just pimps and that's all? Why'd you ask me a question like that? I asked him. You don't know who that you are? Nah, pimp, it ain't like that. But I hear a lot of veteran pimps say I pimp and that's all I do. I'm going to pimp or die. Yeah, no disrespect to the vets, I told him, but pimping is what I do. All right. No disrespect to the vets, I told him, but pimping is what I do. It's not who I am. When I go to my mother's house, I'm her son, Ken Ivy. When I'm with my sons, little Kenny and Supreme, I'm daddy. I was at my mom's house one day and she had some company over. One of the ladies had the nerve to say, I've seen your son on TV. Ain't he a big time pimp? My mother smiled. Let me tell you something, honey. My mama said, that's my baby. He ain't no pimp. He's just a big headed boy whose diaper I used to change 10 times a day. Listening to my mother made me realize that we are different to different people. The things we do in one area of our daily activities have nothing to do with who we are in other areas. Here I was, one of the top players in the game, and Mama is telling people how I used to in my draws. All the years I spent in the game didn't mean a thing to her. To my mama, I was still that big-headed boy. My mother still has an angel next to my name in her phone. A picture of an angel. That's okay though. My daddy used to go around to the real street players you say and say, you know Pimpin Ken, that's my son, and he knows who's the boss. I used to whoop his. He was proud of me, but he also wanted to let people know that he was the boss. I was able to relate to that and when I had my kids. No matter how big they get, you're always the daddy. I always know who I am and what hat I'm wearing depending on the circumstance, but sometimes it's other people who get confused. There are people who don't want to do legitimate business with me because they think I forced women to sell their bodies. But how do you force the willing? On the other hand, try not paying your taxes and see how fast the government forces their pimp hand on you. When I do business, I occasionally hear people say, you're not going to pimp me. Now, how is that? Unless you're going to break yourself, when I am at the table doing business, I am no more pimp than any other businessman. If you're at the business table and you aren't on your game, you will be pimped by someone. It's up to you to figure out the game, not to worry about someone else's past hustle or ignore the legitimate hustles going on right under your nose. The ism. Real pimping you will never see coming. It will hit you so hard you may find yourself supporting a war, and you don't even know why. Real pimping is so powerful that you will allow a president to take office when he doesn't win the popular vote. It's so real that a vice president can shoot a man with the reckless use of a weapon and nothing happens to him. The man he shot will end up apologizing to the public while the average young brother on the street will serve 25 to life for attempted murder. And you call me a pimp. And it's a picture of Pimpin Ken. We got one more chapter. I will do that chapter by itself tomorrow. Thank you for staying tuned in. Have a lovely rest of your day. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you found this lovely treasure that I've read to you helpful and informative.